Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to this channel, my name's Rohan, and this is my platform where I do MMA and boxing related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow my channel? All you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you don't, and maybe hit that bell icon so you're updated whenever I upload a video. With that said, this is a video that I'm really excited to make, and that's because Valentina Shevchenko, probably my favourite women's fighter of all time, is coming back, and I'm going to be breaking down her upcoming fight with Katlyn Chookagian. Now, I'm sure I absolutely battered her name, but let's call her Katlyn for the rest of this video so I don't embarrass myself. And now, let's talk about the fight real quick. So it's interesting whenever Valentina's fighting in this day and age, because she's fighting at 125, which, no disrespect to the division or any of the athletes in it, she seems to be head and shoulders above all of her competition. She absolutely murdered Jessica Ai, who, by the way, is 4-1 in the division and has actually won since her fight lost to Valentina Shevchenko. So if she goes on a win streak, we're not exactly going to be rushing to watch her rematch Valentina, are we? And that's quite a difficult position to be in for Valentina. She's obviously lost twice to Amanda Nunes, even though I gave her the second fight to Amanda Nunes, but she's got technically 2 losses on that ledger to Amanda Nunes. She ain't going to make it all the way down to 115. Well, she might, but outside of Weili Zhang beating Joanna and coming up, there's not really that many hugely exciting fights for Valentina Shevchenko. So what she really needs is someone that will rise to the occasion and truly test her chops at the top of the division. And that person may just be Katlyn. Now, Katlyn, for all her holes or shortcomings in her game, and we're going to go through the fight breakdown in a second, she's a really talented fighter with some really solid stand-up and movement that makes her an interesting prospect coming into this fight, and I cannot wait to see this play out. Without further ado though, let's get into the tail of the tape and see how some of these things match up. So both of these ladies are 31 years old, so they're both meeting at their physical prime. Now, although Valentina Shevchenko has been around for a long time, I mean kickboxing, boxing, MMA, she hasn't shown no signs of slowing down. She's actually very much in the prime of her career and actually looks to be improving every single fight. And the same can be said for Katlyn Chookagian. Now, she doesn't have the experience that Valentina Shevchenko does, and I accept that. But she is a vastly experienced fighter. She has 16 professional mixed martial arts fights. She's 4-1 in the UFC's flyweight division. She's been in the UFC for some time now, and you know she's a veteran of women's mixed martial arts, and she's got some skills outside of MMA. So she's competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments and whatnot. So she's constantly improving as well, and she's also in her prime. She's not an inexperienced fighter. This is actually going to be a really, really fun fight. Valentina Shevchenko comes into this fight with an 18 wins and 3 mixed martial arts record, and she fights Katlyn Chookagian, who's 13-2. And in my opinion, she probably should have gotten the win over Jessica Ai when they fought, but since then she's won 2 in a row, and she's actually a very deserving contender coming into this fight. Valentina Shevchenko stands at 5'5", and now this is where things are interesting for Katlyn Chookagian, because Katlyn, I said I'm only going to call her Katlyn, but I'll be saying her full name probably correctly as well throughout. But anyways, Katlyn stands at 5'9". That gives her a 4-inch height advantage that she's going to really need to leverage in this fight. But along with that 4-inch height advantage, she also enjoys a 2.5-inch reach advantage, as Valentina Shevchenko has a 66.5-inch reach, and Katlyn has a 69-inch reach. No, it might be 68, so that'll make it 1.5. So anyways, around that figure. Forgive me, I do try to memorize this all off the top of my head. To describe their styles, now while Valentina can do it all, she can wrestle, she can grapple, she can box, she's a Muay Thai fighter. She likes to lead with her kicks, and her kicks are absolutely brilliant. She throws a lot of spinning attacks as well, and her spinning back fist is one of the most proficient, efficient, and beautiful, effortless weapons in all of mixed martial arts, regardless of gender, and she uses it so well. She fights Katlyn Chookagian, who's also a striker in my opinion, but she uses a more movement-based striking. Now, I don't mean movement-based in the sense that Dominic Cruz or TJ Dillashaw do. Think more Frankie Edgar, you know, the circling movement. She's got some good head movement, and she likes to get off the combinations. She doesn't carry power though, which is going to be a problem in this fight, because she's going to need Valentina to respect the distance that she's going to want to create. I don't think that she's going to have the necessary power to be able to do it. With that said, let's look at some of the key wins. Now, Valentina Shevchenko has beaten some of the best fighters in women's mixed martial arts, and we're talking about former Strikeforce bantamweight champion and former Invicta bantamweight champion in Sarah Kaufman. She's beaten her. She's beaten Juliana Pena, the Venezuelan vixen, who's a very respected and talented fighter. She's beaten the likes of Holly Holm, who's obviously a perennial title contender, and that's probably going to be forevermore. But she's beaten Holly Holm in what was a real eye-opening fight. By the way, sorry about the sirens here. I'm in South London. Bad stuff happens in South London. I'm just going to talk nonsense till it passes. Alright, passed, okay. So she's beaten Holly Holm in what was a good eye-opening fight. And then since then, she's obviously had that loss to Amanda Nunes, which I felt like could have gone her way, but she's also beaten Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Now, Katlyn has beaten the likes of Alexis Davis, who's a good, talented fighter. She beat Jennifer Maia, who I think is a really, really good fighter. And like I said before, I believe that she should have probably gotten the win over Jessica Ai. Anyways, we can call that a loss. But she's also got other good wins on her ledger as well, over the likes of Jojo Calderwood. Jojo Calderwood's a fighter that I respect a lot as well in the women's 125 division, so that was a good win for her. Issues for Joanna, you know. So for Valentina Shevchenko, I think the biggest issue she's going to have coming into this fight is when I see her dominating fights, I believe that she starts to coast at times. She will go for the finish, but she needs to be engaged, and she needs to, against a fighter that moves and might pitter-patter her and start to score points, she could find herself at a round differential, and then she may lose the fight. That's not a position she wants to be in. I don't think that's going to be the case. But if there's an issue for Valentina, it's going to be that. For Katlyn, it's going to be the fact that she is a striker. She's going to want to come out here and strike, and she's fighting probably the best pure striker in all of mixed martial arts. And as decorated as Valentina is as a striker, you really got to have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G if you're going to be stepping in the ring with her. The X factor of Valentina is going to be her experience and her pure, polished Muay Thai skills, her strength, her abilities in grappling. And for Katlyn, it's going to be her hunger and movement that she's going to come into the fight. She's going to be hungry and want to get the belt. She's going to want to achieve so much stuff. Her movement's going to be different. It's going to be something that she can utilize. It's a different challenge that I haven't actually seen Valentina face. And no doubt her length, being 4 inches taller and having a little bit of reach advantage, should be a good X factor to see if she can use it. Let's get into the prediction. Now, for all the good stuff I can say about Katlyn, there's tons of good stuff to say. I am so sorry, but at 125 pounds right now, there is not a fighter that can fuck with Valentina Shevchenko. It's just not going to happen. Now, there may be fighters that can cause her problems or last until decision, but as it stands right now, 125 does not have an answer for Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko is going to dominate every facet of this game. I believe she's going to come out there and outstrike Katlyn, and then when she's ready, she's going to take this down. Will this fight end in a finish? I don't know. But if I had to make a prediction, I believe the moment, the experience is going to catch up to Katlyn. And much like Dominic Grace in the main event, I believe that Katlyn is going to have a good start where maybe she doesn't get finished and maybe doesn't get dominated in the first round or two. But as the fight wears on, I think Valentina's dominance is going to become more and more, vocal in this fight. It's going to be more and more clear that who the more dominant, better fighter is. And I think Valentina will ultimately be able to get a finish either in the 4th or 5th round by a submission, or she's going to win a clear, dominant decision. So, fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm going with Valentina Shevchenko to get a late finish or either win a unanimous decision. Anyways, guys, why don't you guys comment below? Let me know how you see this fight, guys. Let me know if I'm completely off the mark and you guys see Katlyn as having great opportunities in this fight. And if you guys see this fight going any other way, I'll be interested to know that as well. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm Rohan. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, share the video, all that jazz. Comment below, and thank you for watching, guys. Mind for Combat.